I am with Ricky Buzz. I know it's been a minute since we've had you on the channel, but how have you been, man?
Pretty good, pretty good. How many times
Anything?
have you already had the chance to see this movie already?
I've only seen it once. I went out to a screening on Monday. When did you get a chance to go check it out?
I went to Alamo draft screening Wednesday night, and then I went and
Mm.
watched it last night with some friends.
Oh, all right. So you've already seen it twice. Okay. All right.
Yeah,
Showing that support. Um, I saw that I think the critic rating and the audience rating right now is like 98 and 97%. It's like
yeah,
the highest rating, like the highest and like even like with the audience and critics rating like
yeah.
one of the all times kind of crazy. I'm like, oh man. I mean, well, what do you expect, man? I mean, Ryan Coogler, we got Michael B. Jordan back together again, the black Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio,
Yeah.
or they're the white versions of Coogler and and Michael B. Jordan, right? We say it like that. But overall, like, well, let's start off with so basically what this movie's about. It's about we got what two twins
Yeah,
coming back in town like in South and what, Mississippi, right?
yeah,
Back
Mississippi.
in town, they got a reputation. What else do you remember about how this movie started off?
Basically, everyone in the town knows who they are. The
Mhm.
Smokestack, or one of them's named Smoke, one of them's named Stack. They're
Yeah.
both basically named Smokestack twins.
Yeah.
They're usually known for being up to no good or causing problems, so most people are very wary of them, and they're always plotting and scheming the next big thing.
Went
So
out to Chicago for a little while to get away from it, get to the big city, get a change of scenery, and they wanted to come back to their roots and establish their own business and whatnot. And they buy like no, the land and
like
like
a
a barn,
factory,
a fact
yeah, a
like
barn,
a barn, I think. Yeah, like and they want to turn it into a jute joint,
yeah,
right? And right from the beginning, man, this tone was set. I like the fact that it was that reputation, dude. It was like, oh man, it's the Smokestack twins, man. What was that little girl that one of them was talking to? He said, "You ever heard of the Stack twins?" Like, yeah. Well, I'm Smoke, and like, oh, and that look,
yeah.
man, you know. So you're like, okay, they got that kind of reputation,
Were
but
you able to differentiate between like and stack, like the one with the red hat and the one with the blue hat?
yeah, I found that Michael B. Jordan's mannerism, the way he got into character with Smoke and Stack separately, you could tell even without the different colors or the hat or anything, you could tell which who he was portraying, no matter what. Like it was always something that kind of gave it away. The way Smoke uh, carried himself. He was more rugged, more intense
Yeah,
than Stack. Stack was more like laid back a little bit, but they were both equally just ruthless and smooth at the same time. So and they both kind of had a different way of looking at things. What about you? How did you look at it?
yeah. Smoke's the one who goes to the little girl in the beginning,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
he's
think
the one
so.
who
Yeah.
fires. He's the one who fires the gun off at the two people robbing his car.
Yeah, shot
It's
him in the
not.
head. Oh, and I know there's a bunch of reviews out there. I'll let you guys know right now. So we're gonna just do spoilers. We're gonna make this a spoiler talk. So if you
Yeah.
haven't seen the movie, go see it. You will enjoy it. Go check it out. I recommend it. But we're gonna get
Make
into
sure
some.
to stay for the post credits as well.
Oh yeah. So we'll get into that in the end. So right off the bat. They're getting supplies and things ready. They buy this land. That conversation with the guy that they bought the land from, when they had that little conversation, you can tell like with that tone that they were setting when it comes to like race relations and
Yeah,
whatnot. You had two black guys, young, good-looking black guys buying land from an old white man, and they immediately talked about the Klan.
boys.
Like, yeah, exactly. Like, if you want to
Yeah, what
bring
you
any
called him, boy?
of your, yeah, they already started off disrespecting them from that very beginning of that conversation. You two twins. Say, oh no, we cousins. Say you immediately have to like disarm or play with the white man that you're talking to because you have to. I already could tell what they were doing. They had to see or feel it out of who they were dealing with, and
Yeah,
you know. they joked with him to kind of they were feeling him out. They already could tell that this guy was mad disrespectful or something wrong. So obviously they sniffed it out right away that he was a dude that they weren't gonna want to work with. So that
Yeah.
what do you think about that threat that they made right up the top when they were
Yeah, I
buying
was
that?
gonna say, who do you think escalated it though? Because he's like, oh, well, I'm dealing with two boys. Like, who you calling boys? And we're
Yeah,
boys with big boy bullets. And then the Smoke's the one who goes for his gun, and then the white man responds like about to
and
pull his out.
exactly because he felt like he had the upper hand because he knew he came armed, and he also knew what his overall intentions were, and and the fact that he's an old white man in the South like that, that these boys wouldn't even dare mess with him. But I love the fact that they checked him immediately. It's like you do realize that you in this place. I mean, yeah, you a white man. You got a lot of power in this town like that, right? But
Yeah,
you still in this barn right now by yourself. There's two,
yeah,
and they set that tone quick by one going behind him
yep,
and continuing the conversation. And he immediately switched up. You notice that? Oh,
yeah,
I'm just kidding. Just playing around. We're just horsing around, and then immediately that you didn't know what was gonna happen. That move where instead of pulling the weapon out, gave him the money.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, get your ass out of here. And they gave him that warning, like you bring any of your clan friends out here, we'll take them out. And
yeah,
and and I knew he was clan when he said the clan don't exist. No,
yeah. It's 1932.
yeah, yeah, the clan doesn't exist. Come on, what? What Ku Klux Klan? Yeah, right. But then I think we moved from that, and that's when they decided to separate, right? And
Yeah,
one was gonna was it Smoke went to go visit his wife and see his son's grave, and Stack went to go get his cousin.
yeah,
All right. What do you want to fill in? What do you remember from that part?
yeah.
We can get into
Well, yeah, I was
the
gonna say
cast after that.
the opening shot though of us getting before the events that we see, even before we meet the twins, it's Preacher
Mhm.
Boy going back to the church. What
Yeah.
do you think of that? Because even like the
Yeah,
quick
that
flashes,
started the movie. That's right. I
yeah,
forgot about that. The movie began with Preacher Boy looking like he went through hell and back and came
yeah,
back to the church with that half of a guitar in his hand.
yeah,
I thought that he was like some kind of daywalk. I didn't know what to think. I thought he was infected. I thought he was going to attack everybody. Everybody was
yeah,
scared of. I didn't know what the and when those pop scenes of what he
yeah,
went through was flashing through his head. I thought maybe he was infected or something. I didn't know what was the thing. I thought the guitar, that broken guitar handle was going to go into his dad's neck.
yeah,
I didn't know what was going to happen. So that set the tone pretty good. Those jarring like little, and I noticed the scratch across his face moment. I know I
yeah.
saw that clearer than all the other scenes. But that was the feeling that it gave me. I thought something bad was gonna happen. What about you? What did you think about that opening?
Yeah, I thought it was gonna be. Have you heard of the show Preacher?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I haven't
Yeah,
watched it. I know it's a comic book, but I haven't watched it.
yeah.
But
I
I
thought it
kind of
was
know what
gonna
it's
be
about.
that. Like he goes into the church, and then all hell breaks loose from there,
Yeah,
and then
when he
it's
get
just
when
gonna go. And then we're gonna carry the story on from that. Like, oh, it starts here, and then now we get into the story of vampires, and it's like, oh. But to see it go like a day earlier, like, oh, all these events have happened.
right.
Like, drop the guitar, son, and welcome yourself into the house of the Lord. I was like, oh, okay. I see
And
we're going to touch on the religious aspect a bit.
remind me because you saw it twice. The movie really began with like didn't it like a crawling text? Didn't it
Uh,
say something in the
it
very
opens
beginning?
with visuals of like a narration about like music. Like they say that music has the ability to touch into the past as well as
Yeah.
the future and the present.
Yes, and that leads me later on. We'll get to it later, but when it gets to one of my favorite moments in the movie. But
Oh,
let me type this up right now. Sinners cast. Oh, is it
yeah,
Sinners? Not Sin.
everybody's talking about that scene.
The All right, let's get right into it. It was with Stack when he finally got with his cousin and picked him up, and like the reluctant father, he didn't want his son to go. He wanted his
Yeah,
son to stay in the church and become probably become a preacher. and everything. But he was like, I got to be my own man. I got to go out and experience the world and figure me out. So he went with his cousins,
Yeah,
despite that reputation. And they were, I guess, they were going around to get supplies, get to build their team to help, build their new juke joint. So they had to
yeah,
get the people that they knew and trusted from what that they grew up with. It was been, what, 7 years since the Stack Brothers has been in town, and they came
yeah.
back and they were able to still pull their old friends together and get
And
a. I
they
love
go
the
to
way
the
they gathered everybody. What
yeah,
did
they
you
go
think?
to the train station and get Delroy Lindo's character
Hmm.
of
And
him
then
playing his harmonica.
yeah,
And you're
and
seeing too, it's a bit even the train station, I would say it's a bit diverse in the sense that there are white people and black people going through. It's not
oh
like
yeah,
conflict or
of course, and,
anything.
I'm sure it was segregated inside the bus and everything, like when
Yeah,
like first class and whatnot. But yeah, everybody for the most part, it's a small town. Them being everybody's pretty much walking around together. But
yeah,
even though, and that was when we first bump into Hailee Steinfeld, and
yeah,
and they really dove into the whole, even better than when the person that they bought the spot from, the juke joint from. They really set the tone about race when she showed up. Like, hey, there's this white woman looking at you. You're like, oh shit, oh, you sure she's white? Like, yeah. Like, oh. And they were like, don't make no eye contact. Like they,
yeah. Don't make eye
and I'm
contact
thinking,
with her.
oh crap. Like, is it like, is she like looking at him because she likes him and is just about to flirt for the first time? Like, oh no, you learned they have history.
Yeah,
And that's what he was worried about, though. What did you think about that conversation? Because she, right from the jump, like Mary laid it out. She was like, she basically was like, what would she say? Like, you wasn't ignoring me when you was putting it down, and when you was when you was
yeah.
fucking me. Like,
Yeah, when they first introduce her, like she's just standing there and you're seeing people walk past her. I was thinking it was gonna be one of those like horror tropes where she disappears and it's
yeah.
like in its head.
No, knowing that this was a vampire movie, I'm thinking the way it began and everything. I'm like, are there daywalkers here or something?
Yeah,
That's what I kept thinking the whole time. Are they daywalkers? But she
yeah,
was no, she was human. She was human.
yeah,
But she was just a ball of fire though. She was the way she set it up was crazy. Like the fact that in a horror movie, one of the most horrific scenes was the fact that this white woman was talking too loud about her having sex with a black man in public. It was
yeah.
like that
He's like,
was
keep your
scary.
voice
Like,
down.
keep your voice. You trying to get me lynched? Like I was like, dang, this is a horror movie. She crazy. It was like she's the biggest threat so far in this movie. but the way she delivered it was pretty cool. Did you
Yeah.
hear about Hailee Steinfeld looking into her family history while filming the movie?
Oh no.
She learned that she learned during the filming of the movie that she actually does have like a black biracial great grandfather or something like that.
Oh,
Like I don't, and I'm still trying to learn whether or not they wrote that in to the movie because they found out that it was real in real life, in her real history. And she wouldn't even she it was only when she got this role and began filming, she said that that's when she decided to look into it
oh,
and find out that yeah, it's true. She does have a black ancestor. I could tell
oh,
by the nose.
oh.
But but
Yeah, but
I'm wondering if she was supposed to be originally just a white woman and
yeah.
with those, because I think, what did she say with her past, like her mom,
Her mom's dad is half.
right? And but like she mentioned her mom a lot. Her mom that just passed away loved the twins, helped raise
Yeah,
them, well,
yeah. Helped raise them.
and was nice to everybody. They weren't a racist family and whatnot.
Yeah,
So, and that's how they fell in love or started a little tryst or romance and things. But moving on a little bit faster though, they moved on. They built they found the people to work with, the
yeah,
Asian couple that was across the street from the shop
yeah.
that they went to. They found what's her name was Grace, her and her husband. I don't have it here right now, but
Bo or something
Bo,
like that.
okay, and then a friend of theirs played by and Grace was played by Lee Jun Li. And then Omar Benson Miller, who played Cornbread.
Yeah,
I love that introduction with Cornbread with his wife. What you remember that
yeah. The back and forth. He's like,
on
"Fuck
on
you," and
on
"Fuck
the
your wife too." Yeah,
on the
everybody's
road?
audience.
And he started. He's like, I ain't trying to get with your get rich quick schemes. And was it Smoke or Stack? It was Stack. It was trying to
Yeah,
that was recruiting him. So I got a business opportunity for. He was out there in the was it in the cotton field picking
yeah,
cotton with his wife. It was paid labor at this point, probably very
yeah,
cheap. It's probably below minimum wage, but he was like he saw him in the cotton field, asking me, told me I got a job for you. We doing something. We got a juke joint. We need your help. And he's like, no, I'm not getting with you and your brother in this your get rich quick schemes. And what he said to Cornbread, something about like I'm gonna make you a bunch of so much money. Your wife will let you put your
yeah,
little pecker in her mouth.
yeah. And
And then
everybody in my audience was laughing.
and the whole yeah, and mine too. And then, but no, they laughed louder when his wife was like, "How much?" Everybody was like, half the audience was like, "She's a real one." The other half was like, "She's for the streets." but it said it quickly pulled you into this team, this cast, this main cast. You instantly from the first introduction, from Cornbread to like you said, was it Delroy Lindo who played Delta
Yeah,
Slim? You
yeah. I was gonna
instant
say, with Delroy Lindo's character, did you remember the exchange they had in the car drive over to pick up Omar Benson's character
Yeah,
when he's like recounting about?
when they drove past the prisoners that was working in the streets.
Yeah,
Yeah, told them like what to keep their head up or keep their chest
yeah.
up or something, and trying to give the because I think he said he just got out of prison or something like that, right?
Or nah, I think he's just always playing his harmonica down at the train station, and he's a drunk now.
Hmm.
But he's recounting the story of like how his friend died,
Oh yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
how they were playing. And I noticed too, like even both times when I watched it the first and second time,
yeah.
while he's telling the story, you can hear
The
like the little
music.
like you can hear music, but you can also hear like little cheering and stuff as if like
Yeah, yeah, like a
we're getting
flashback
a
without
visual.
seeing it. Yeah.
Yeah. You even
And,
hear like he's like, oh, they lynched him. You hear like the
and you can
choking
hear the
sound.
lynch. Yeah, he was telling a story about a
Yeah,
friend of his that got ambushed and lynched and set up yeah, and we didn't need to see the visual of it. We could hear it.
yeah.
The way Coogler
That's a
used
perfect show don't
sound.
tell.
Yeah, it was perfect. The way Coogler used sound in this movie was better than it got me in a way that most movies I don't sound isn't one of the I'm glad that I can hear the music and I appreciate sound effects and things like that, but it takes a true talent because I don't really have that much of an ear for it. I'm like as long as I can hear the movie I'm fine, but for me to get engulfed in the sound or the music or both or the sound effects that means for me with my untrained ear it's special. So in the way Coogler did sound effect, the sound design,
Yeah,
I would not be surprised if he got nominated, if they got nominated, because though I feel like the way they did it was brilliant. um Moving on, well, real fast, and then we said we met up with Annie, with Smoke's wife, and learned about the passing of their son and how she's into like old school like I wouldn't say what it was. It's not Louisiana, so I wouldn't call it voodoo magic, but just what like African or
yeah,
a blend of different magics that probably came from the motherland that she still practiced. A lot of practices from Africa did survive, even though they tried to strip us from our language and heritage and things like that. You'd be surprised at a lot of things that Black people do to this day that don't realize that they actually got from Africa. They don't really, and you don't, and you'll bump into an African and be like I hear stories about that stuff all the time. Like why you just got your hair done at this salon? Why are you picking your hair up off the floor? You're like because I ain't gonna have you take my hair and do like a cast a spell on me, and then
yeah,
and an African hairdresser was like, you got that from us. Like that's like it's the like little things, right?
yeah,
But but she talked about how she gave her husband Smoke that protection,
yeah,
that
yeah.
that magic that he wore around his neck. What do you remember about that?
It seemed like there was already conflict, and there's even already tension too, even upon them meeting again, where he's like, "Oh, well, your magic and voodoo can't help save our son, but it can
Why
help."
didn't it save our
Yeah,
son?
yeah,
That was hard, man. That's a hard conversation. That hit me. I was like, damn. But I can't remember what her answer was. Like maybe it wasn't meant to. It was meant to protect you, I guess, or like
Yeah.
she didn't really have a good answer. It wouldn't have been a good. He was angry, so there wouldn't have been an answer that he would have given that would have satisfied. But I couldn't tell if they were just if they were estranged and they hated each other. I couldn't tell at the beginning if they hated each other or if they were separated for another reason or things like that. I couldn't tell, but then the answer uh, came real quick, and that when they just right there in the middle of the store started getting busy. I was like, damn, we got into a sex scene real quick
Yeah.
in this damn movie in the most unexpected spot. I was this close to taking my son to see this movie. But I was like, damn, I'm glad I didn't. But
Oh, we forget Preacher Boy meets the married woman at the
at the
train
train
station as
station.
well. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah, played by let's see, played by Jamie Lawson. Is it Pearline? Pearline?
Yeah, Pearline.
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 And boy, and the way she looked at Preacher Boy and was like telling him like, hey, you better watch your mouth here. You know I'm married. The way she
Oh
said I'm
yeah.
married,
Are you happily
yeah,
married?
exactly. I could, yeah, you could tell the way she said, I'm married. She's like, it was almost like, I'm married. You got to try a little harder than that to get, to get this. Like, because she was on a girl's trip. Like, and how did that damn trip work out for you, Pearline? But then I know her husband, like, that's why you guess what you get for stepping out on that girl's trip. Then you get eaten up by the damn vampires. But we then later on in the middle of everybody meeting up with each other, we see this stranger that's being chased and he's smoking
Yeah.
as the sun is kind of going down,
The
and he runs up to
transition
this
into it is
yeah
crazy because it's like he
as
just
the
drops
as
down and he's
as
already
the
like
sun is
on
coming in.
fire.
Yeah, and he's trying to get it, and he's running away from the Native Americans that are chasing him, and he's looking for sanctuary. He bumps into a house of this married couple, asking
Yeah.
they already at the door with the guns ready. And he can tell and at first they weren't buying anything he was trying to sell.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, this dude is literally smoking and whatnot,
Yeah.
and look like he's been fucked up real bad. It's like, no, you ain't coming in. But the
Yeah, because they're
second,
like, oh, help me, help me. He's like, there's no black people miles out from here, so there's no
yeah,
way you got like robbed.
right, you ain't get, yeah, you
He's
ain't
like,
get robbed. Like I can tell you something wrong with you. Like, I don't believe this story, and even if I did believe it, I don't want no problems. You not coming in. And the second he saw that the
the
man of the
clan
house had a
uniform.
clan outfit, he knew how to talk his way in.
Yeah.
And it wasn't long that before when they invited him in that it turned bad for them, and they were the first
Yeah.
recruits of the team.
I feel like they should have done a little bit more with the Native American vampire hunters. 'Cause it's like, okay, how do you all
Yeah.
know that this
I thought
guy's
they
out
I
of?
thought they established that in the opening narrating, because throughout didn't they say that in the beginning of the movie, like throughout history, like from
Yeah.
Africa, from here, like there are tribes who know of.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I wouldn't be surprised that the Native Americans would figure something like that out. Like they like as as in touch with nature and things like that. Of course they know. Like, oh yeah, yeah, vampires. Oh yeah, we kill them all the time. Like that didn't surprise me, but I see what you're saying. But
Yeah. I felt like I was like, okay, they're gonna come back around at some point in the movie near the end or something. And it's like, nope.
I I
Well,
thought so
all
too.
right.
What it felt like to me when he find then when they let him in the house and he quickly fed on him and turned that couple. I thought he did go back. I thought that I would see those Indian vampire hunters that were out there, the Native American guys out there. But he didn't. Did he not get them?
No,
I thought they were a
we
part of
don't.
that group
No,
at
like once
first.
they come, give a warning, and then they just leave, and we never see
They
them
just left.
again.
Yeah. Okay. But when the juke joint gets fixed up and they start inviting people into town to come party and whatnot, they had cornbread watching the door. They had Delta Slim on the piano. We had the preacher boy out there entertaining, and the twins were watching the money,
Yeah,
and Grace, the Asian actress, and her husband, they were bartending and things like that,
yeah,
keeping things in order, and it was going great. And I loved when Haley Steinfeld's character when Mary showed up because she was determined to see Stack, right?
Yeah,
And get that going. When we move into that scene, when the narrator kicks back in and says like um, Preacher Boy starts
yeah,
getting into his zone and playing
yeah.
that song.
Yeah, Delroy finishes playing his, and then he's like, and he introduces Preacher Boy. He's like, "Hey,
Mm,
there's a young man out here who I've heard he's the best guitar player,
mhm.
he's really into blues.
Yeah,
Come on up here, tell him where you're from, and tell him what you're about." And yeah, that's when we get into the narration. That
yeah.
hands down was
That where the
really,
narrator says something like when you're like I guess the paraphrase like when you're playing your musical and you in the zone
yeah,
when you are so in the zone and your soul is in that instrument or in your voice or whatever when you've got the crowd and the crowd has you or something like that, then this magic can take over
yeah,
where you can channel through music channel the ancestors from the past, and then you
yeah,
saw like from the past ghosts from Africa and ghosts from this tribe and that tribe and ghosts from for like maybe 100 years ago, but not maybe 100 maybe slaves or something things like that
yeah.
in America. And then the narrator said,
And
and
if
the
you,
future. Ghosts
yeah, and then the
from the
electric
future.
guitar comes out. I
And
was
then
like, oh.
that Jimi Hendrix dude, I was like, I don't
And
know
then it
why
started
it
going to
blew my
different
mind.
ones. It went to DJing. It went to like the
They went to,
'90s.
there was a ghost girl twerking.
Yeah, I was like, what?
There was a twerker. Then we went back to the past. There was another African lady there. There was a and we had some
You got people crip walking. I was
yeah,
like, what?
we had some straight up cholos, you know, they're doing like we had crumpers,
Yeah,
man. We had the DJ yeah on the ones and two when the scratch that was the second surprise when I heard the scratch and I'm like we had the dude on the ones and twos and all this different music throughout Black history blending
yeah,
it was flowing from Africa throughout America. It was and throughout history, from the blues to hip hop, from hip hop to rock, from rock to
yeah.
it was paying homage to all these things and where things like I said, crumping, twerking, scratching,
Crip walking,
break dancing.
breakdancing.
Dude, it went through all of it. Hell, I wouldn't have been surprised if Michael Jackson came out like I wouldn't have been surprised. I feel like they should have did something like that, but and then when we went back, when the camera panned around, it was like a one shot too. When the camera panned around to
Yeah,
the Asian
yeah. The
couple
Asian
again,
couple. I didn't see
then
them.
their ancestors came out and started dancing and stuff. I was like, it didn't discriminate, right?
Yeah,
And then you notice that? Did you notice that flicker of fire? That,
yeah.
that first flicker. What did you think when you first saw it? What did you think was happening?
I thought it was gonna be like they're entering another portal, or we're gonna see something else from like a vision or something.
Yeah. Uh, and we kind of technically did, right?
Yeah, and
Uh,
then it.
and then when
What
the
did you
camera
think of it?
pans up and the whole barn is burning down. But
Yeah.
that symbol though, that was I knew what they were doing when that how we said it in hip hop and rap. You know,
Oh,
the
the
roof is
roof is
on
on
fire.
fire.
That was exactly what was happening. The whole thing, they let that motherfucker burn.
Yeah.
Exactly. And that called out to the main bad guys. The
What What do you think of the transition though, of like seeing the outside? Because it looked a bit weird. Because you still see Cornbread just sitting up
cornbread, yeah,
front.
because he was just sitting there watching the door. This whole house is
Yeah,
burnt down now. I
I
mean,
was.
it was all like metaphorical and all that stuff, right? And it wasn't really happening. But if that confused me at first because then you were seeing it from the vampires who were heading towards the music point
Yeah.
of view, and at first I couldn't tell if Remick could see the ghost and could see everything that the music was doing, or if he could, if the music was just enchanting him and he was just in awe. I want to believe he saw what we saw, what
Yeah,
I think the
he
vampires
makes
could
a
see.
reference. He
Yeah,
makes a reference later on, like I want to harness your voice so I can get back to my time.
yeah,
So, like we don't know where exactly he's from. I think he's way back because even
yeah.
the song,
He's very old school
yeah,
Irish.
even the song he sings is like old Irish.
What man? When they came to the door trying to get that invite in, and they was trying to play that little
Come
music.
on, we're all family.
Yeah, oh yeah, come on. I was saying no, and they were humoring them once again, just humor. Like, yeah, like they had that smile at the white people. You know, don't make them nervous. Don't make this smile. You know, and they couldn't talk their way in. It was. I was like, all right, cool. So they're not gonna be dumb enough to invite them, right?
That we're gonna
But
leave. We're gonna walk real slow,
yeah,
just in
yeah.
case you change your mind.
Just in case you change your mind, like, nah, we not. And like, so
Nope.
they
Have a good
waited,
night.
right? And that stupid ass idea from but then when we I think we got ahead of another moment when Mary finally cornered Stack in the back room and
Yeah.
finally no I got ahead. No, I'm sorry. I got ahead of myself.
Oh no, they're going over the finances,
Yeah.
and they're
And
like,
they were talking
yeah, we're
about
gonna
how
run out of money.
this isn't gonna be sustainable, and it was a good idea. I mean, the people were enjoying it. They work hard. They had a place of their own, to, but you could tell Stack. I mean, they were. I mean, no, it was Smoke. I think he was the one that was being realistic about it. Like this ain't this ain't gonna be a sustainable business. We're not gonna. This ain't gonna work.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
especially when one of the dudes was trying to buy beer. He's like, I have 30 cents and two
Wooden nickels or something
yeah
like that.
wooden nickels, and he's like, this ain't a charity, this ain't any of that. Like we actually need real money, U.S. dollars.
Yeah, but uh, and I knew what everybody was trying to say to keep people's spirits up. Like you know how much he busted his ass to even get
Yeah, these
those
people.
wood nickels. You got
Yeah,
to give these people something. But 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 everybody was correct. I mean, Smoke was correct that it wasn't the way to sustain the business, and Stacking them and marrying them were correct that it was the way to go to get these people's hopes up.
yeah,
It was the fact that the segregation and the gentrification around them and all that, and the powers that be were not going to allow black-owned businesses to get anywhere near the level of what they could probably do in Chicago. They were trying to bring what they were able to see in Chicago down to Mississippi.
yeah,
Mississippi was not going to let that happen. That's
yeah,
not then, not there, not that time. And that's what Smoke was trying to really point out. But when the shit started really hitting the fan. And who
yeah,
was the first? It was Mary was the first when they were like when they came up with that brilliant ass idea because she's white that she could probably get the truth out of the
yeah,
vampires because I think
yeah,
they showed that they had that gold money, right? So
yeah.
and
Well, whenever she goes out, but yeah, it was revealed a little earlier that they basically stole the alcohol, the Italian wine, and Irish beer
yeah,
from Chicago, and then they basically came back to Mississippi to try and sell it and get a
yeah,
profit. She's like, "Yeah, you're gonna have trouble because they're gonna put two and two together, and then they're gonna
together
come after y'all."
and
So
realize that you guys are bringing trouble down here. So
yeah,
when they
she's
came
like,
up with that brilliant idea, I guess to try to work that maybe these three white people can help us work that out. So let me go. She was like, let me go out there to go talk to
"Yeah,
them, and feel them out, and see what they really about. And that's when she got attacked and realized that she was in danger, and she was the first, to fall
yeah,
from the main group. And immediately when she came in, she knew exact. She went straight for Stack. She went past everybody. She talked talked her way back in with that invitation. I think it was a cornbread that let her that
yeah, yeah." Are
invited
you
her
gonna
in.
let me in? Yeah,
Talked her way back in. Went straight for Stack, and they went in there to have sex. Now that moment there, with
oh,
that
and then
when she started
cornbread.
drooling.
Yeah, cornbread goes to the bathroom,
Uh-huh.
and then he starts peeing, and that's when you start
That's
hearing.
when he gets attacked. Yeah, that's when he gets
Yeah,
attacked because he had to go pee.
now I'm
And they
assuming.
had had the piano man watching the dough.
Yeah,
And when Preacher Boy was looking for Stack, and he's like, "Oh yeah, no, go in the room," not realizing that Mary and Stack had already started having sex. He's like, "Oh yeah,
yeah,
no, go ahead, knock on the door, go and see." He goes in and sees it and he closes it. Oh, he was busy, huh? I was like, it's just, I like the way that this movie was written, where it's like you can't like black people can't take shit seriously. Always looking for an opportunity to mess with somebody. But that moment when she got Mary got Stack and bit him and turned him that and whatnot. From that moment it picked up fast. So now one of the people that I was with a person that's been on the show a couple of times, Tyler Cossey. She's very particular about her horror movies, and I thought that she would like, this movie, not because she's a white woman dating a black man. I just thought that she would like the movie, but
Yeah.
she thought her and her boyfriend thought it was slowly paced, and
I've seen a lot of people say that though. Like
like the
again, the
beginning
first
was
half.
slow.
Yeah, the
Did
first
you
half.
feel that?
I thought it was well paced.
You
I
feel
said
that
like,
you feel like it was well paced?
yeah,
Me
like
too.
maybe there's certain things they could have like switched up a bit, but I think maybe
I
the
felt like the
beginning.
tone and how they introduced people and how they instantly, like I said in the beginning, how that's that little brief funny conversation with Delta and Cornbread. I was instantly on their side. I didn't know them yet that much,
Yeah,
but I already cared. I cared right from the beginning, and I felt like that was well done. I thought the pacing of that was good. I didn't think I don't feel like I felt like we got enough spooky stuff right from the beginning, and then we introduced our main cast in the first act. But when it got to that second, what would that be? That would have been the where would you say the second act began? When the club,
juke joint.
juke joint started, right? And then and then in the middle of that, when they started all getting picked apart, that's the moment when Mary
Yeah,
attacked Stack. Then it picked up quick, like
yeah,
oh my god, he's dead. What's her name? Smoke shot her so quick,
yeah.
and she got now. Here's
No,
my
she's like, it ain't what you think. Let me.
yeah. She tried to talk her way out of it, right? Like he wasn't trying to hear that shit, and she left. Now from okay, so she was in, but is it
Yeah,
because I'm trying to understand. I'm trying to go back to vampire lore. Like
I'm assuming.
I'm assuming her invitation was revoked because she when she left and they were like, don't.
Yeah, because
I'm assuming if somehow that rescinded her invitation and that's why they needed another invitation. I'm a,
yeah,
I'm
I'm assuming
assuming
too,
that's kind of
because
what happened.
because on the way out she yells, "I'll be back. We'll be back again."
Yeah.
Like she's running out the door.
So I'm assuming if you get attacked and I guess you mentally or whatever it's like you ain't welcome here. I guess then I guess that rescinds the invitation. I guess I don't know.
Yeah,
I couldn't figure that out. Or maybe because the person who gave her the invitation, Cornbread, died, and then she left the house.
yeah,
Maybe that's what killed the invitation. The original invite the original inviter is still died, and you're
yeah,
in the house. So you're good. But the second you leave the house, maybe the owner maybe technically I don't know. There's a
yeah. I
bunch
was gonna
of
say that.
I felt like there's a plot hole there because I felt like Mary should have been able to come in and out as she pleased because she already
Yeah,
got the invitation.
I was gonna say they never talk about like the strength of the vampires either. Like what's their power level or any of that. Because I was thinking like she runs out, but I'm thinking she's running out that way she doesn't get jumped. Because they could all overpower her and just put a stake through her heart
I would assume
easily.
that after eating or feeding off of Stack, that would have started launched her super strength. I think before she fed on anybody, I don't think she would have been that strong. She would have probably been stronger, but not undefeatable. But I feel like they would have been able to easily overpower her. But the
Yeah,
second she got his blood, I think that could have doubled her power wherever her power level was at, maybe a triple. I don't know. I think she
yeah,
would have been I think they still could have probably overpowered her, but she would have been a handful because she
yeah. Just
just
because how quick, yeah, it's just how quick she left. Like,
she got out of there quick, and
yeah,
it was
because
probably under what's his name's orders. Get out of there.
yeah,
He probably told her to get out.
yeah,
But it got creepier and creepier fat, like real fat. When Cornbread tried to get talk his way in, when they started realizing what was going on, when Smoke's wife started realizing what was happening, like, dude, you shot her so many
Yeah,
times and she kept going. Like,
they're vampires.
I think I know what these are. Yeah, you need to get Stack out of this house, and Smoke wasn't having it. Like, nah.
Yeah,
So I
so
like,
they
okay,
lock the door.
let's lock him in the room. Like, come on, man. He's already in the house. So I'm like, that's when I thought another hole was gonna happen. Like, are you gonna say that that room you locked him in is now its own kind of a shielded room? Like, but no, he just playing the whole time. Like, he's like, when he woke up, he's like, and I like the way his brother was like, Stack, he's like, yeah, nigga, ain't you dead? And I think he's like, oh no, no, I'm
Oh yeah,
good.
open it up. Oh yeah, gonna do a pimp like this?
Y'all do. If I forgot about that part, and a little those little lines like that, it was just hilarious. And I'm thinking, is he trapped in that room? But he burst his way out. It was easy.
Yeah, and then he even opens the door. I'm assuming it's. I don't, is it because he's not invited in? Because he just
No.
opens
He
the
was
door
just
and
he was just
leaves.
messing around. He just
Oh
wanted them. He just I knew he could because you were already inside the house. I mean, so like getting in rooms ain't that's not a thing. I think he was just messing with them. Like open the
oh
door. Like he didn't want to break it. He wanted. I think in the beginning he wanted the illusion of I was just maybe I was just knocked out
yeah,
because they were like, no, I checked his pulse. He was like his wife. The wife was like, no, he was dead. Like, no, this is bullshit. But I think he was just messing with them. But
oh.
when he turned and then they ended the party because when they shot up Mary and she ran out, that's when they decided to
Yeah.
end
He ended the
the
party.
party. But before it all went to hell, what's his name? Preacher Boy got him some
Oh yeah,
from the mistress over there, from the lady, the
yeah,
married lady, yeah. And he was spitting that line. I just want to taste you. I'm like, I'm
yeah,
glad I didn't say. I'm glad my son ain't here. I was like, what is this guy? This guy freaky. And up to Haley and Michael B. Jordan when he saw that drool in her mouth and
oh yeah.
she
You
was like,
want some?
you want some? And
I
I
know
was like,
Shimik Moore somewhere punching the sky.
and I was like, what is happening here? And Haley Steinfeld is spitting Michael B. Jordan's mouth. I'm like, was that digital? Was that digital? That's the question. Was it real spit? Was it a liquid that they gave her to spit in his mouth, or was it digital? What do you, like, guys?
No, I think
Vote. I'm gonna put that in the comment below. Vote if you saw that movie. Haley Steinfeld spit right in Michael B. Jordan's mouth in this scene in a
no
sexy way.
Shamik Moore is crashing out like
Yeah,
Tyrese. Oh my
yeah.
god!
Shamik Moore is like that. I was so
Congratulations.
close. The question is, was it a liquid that the intimacy coordinator gave her to spit in his mouth that was safe? Like I don't know, Listerine. Was it really her spit or was it digital? Put your thoughts in the chat below. That's the question. Vote. Let's vote. Um, I thought that was that. I was like, yeah. I didn't think I needed that, but I needed that. But when all the people who were told to leave because the party was over, I mean, they just picked them all off one by one. I thought maybe some of them got away. No, I don't think not a one. I think not. I think
Yeah, because I was thinking, I was like, from
I'm
the
like, did a
time
lot of
all
people
those
get away?
people leave to the time that Stacks breaks out of what Stacks or Smokes, the one who turns into a vampire.
Which one? Stack that was turned.
Yeah, from the time like all those people leave to the time Smoke or Stacks leaves the building, I was like, there's still cars out there.
Yeah,
And I'm thinking, I'm like,
nobody made it.
you would still hear
Some
people
people did get in
talking.
their cars, but I'm sure they didn't get far. I'm sure, and then
Yeah,
then it just snowballed after that. Then it got super quiet.
yeah.
And then you saw that he did have his vampire army, and I was like, oh damn.
and then
And then they started playing that Irish song because they were talking about like there was it's like a hive mind. Like he was
yeah,
the lead vampire and they were all connected. He was even able to speak Chinese because he
yeah,
did take what's the name husband. Uh he was able to be he was fluent and he knew everything about smoke because he had Stack. So And when they revealed it, like the reason he's like the reason I came to this spot was because the couple that I first attacked, they were part of the Ku Klux Klan. That
Yeah,
guy that you bought this spot from, they were they were all setting up to take you
yeah.
out. They were never gonna let you keep this juke joint. That was the Klan. They were coming for, and I was like, that's why they showed
Yeah, the
that
clan
little glimpse
uniform.
of the Klan's outfit in that house when the first vampire went to that couple because they were it was connected to the guy who sold the spot to
Yeah, he's like
the
that. That
slave.
man's his nephew,
Yeah, it was
or that's
yeah.
his
They it
uncle.
was all yeah. So the second he turned them, he knew that plan. What they were gonna do that very next day, and he put it into it, which made me think. In the middle of the movie, I was like, it's kind of funny that this movie has like people who are like maybe sons of or former slaves in this movie, and vampires, but the main villain was the Klan. It was funny how that worked out. Because he was like, yeah, because even that vampire was like, no, I don't like that. He didn't like that.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
wanted it
We're
all
gonna
to
take care of
come
him.
together and be family, black and white.
Yeah,
He did not care about any of that stuff. He
yeah.
was disgusted
He
with
said he'll
all
get
that.
his. Oh, he's like
Yeah.
after we turn y'all, we're gonna go after him. He
Yeah,
gonna
we
get
gonna go. Yeah, we
his.
gonna get them for you. We gonna get. Won't that be nice? You'll be dead, but we'd be nice, right? I mean, it was cool how that. I'm sure a lot of brothers would have thought about it, like, make him some points, some good. And you said we'll have the power. That would have been crazy, but
And
it
then
was that's a plan that would have worked.
they find one of the dudes who's drunk inside, and it looks like he got bit. Which even
But
then
he
they
just
say,
slipped in some. But he just slipped in some blood, right?
yeah, or no, it was wine, and I think
Oh
it
yeah, he
came
was
off his
cut
bread.
like at first, right? Yeah.
No, he was just on the ground. I think like I don't know. I guess he passed out from drinking, but
Yeah,
like
he
I guess
passed
all
out
of
from
it
drinking,
poured
and they
out.
thought he was dead, and then they threw him
Yeah,
out,
yeah,
and
because
he
it's
got
like
it.
Mary and Stacks went out to the front door,
He was
and they
like,
just throw him out.
he was like, let me back in, man. I promise I'll pay my tab, man. Let me back in. And then he got bit. I was like, damn, he was. They were like, damn, he was alive. Damn. Oh
Yeah,
well.
right as he opened the door.
You're like, well, we fucked that up. But yeah, it was a bunch of like funny moments, like that. And when and that standoff, it was like, dude, we just have to wait a couple more hours because that party did go for a long time. It was like past like what 2, 3 in the morning. All they
Yeah,
had to do was wait a little bit longer, and they could have made it to sunrise. But when they got into what's her name's head, and she
yeah,
was
Grace's head. Yeah,
she
and
was
they're
trying
like,
to
we're gonna
she was like,
go after your
screw it,
daughter.
yeah. When they threatened that they were gonna take her daughter, she was like, come on in, then, and that was it. That was all they needed.
I
But
mean, weren't they singing?
before we got to that moment, while they were still messing with their head, they had another music moment where the lead vampire was singing like an Irish song.
Yeah,
You see a lot of black vampires doing the Irish jig and
yeah. I was like,
and Michael B. Jordan. They were all like really getting into this stuff and all this steps
yeah. That's
and
when
he was
that's
really
when the
doing them.
black kid woke up. He's like, "Hey, did you let me go? There's some
Yeah, man, it's
creepy
getting
shit
weird out
going
here,
on."
man. They doing this Irish jig stuff, some leprechaun stuff, man. It's kind of crazy. But even the way Coogler filmed that, it was playing this upbeat Irish dance song, but with the glow of these vampires'
Yes.
eyes,
Oh, I was turning
in this
red.
darkness, it was one of the creepiest. The way music was used to elevate the horror was
Yeah,
crazy. It was crazy. Um, but then we finally get down to it when that invitation was had, and they were like, "Well, we got to this now. It's a stand your do or die moment now." And it was
yeah.
quick. It was fun.
How
It was
many,
crazy how quick the
how
main
many
characters
people were
survived.
there?
I mean, there was at
Because
least
no,
the main people that were there in that standoff was Slim, was Sammy,
Annie,
Pearline, Annie.
Perlene.
Cornbread was
Mm.
already dead at this point. Grace,
Wait, who's Annie?
Smoke, huh?
Who's Annie?
Annie
Or
was I didn't say Annie Smoke's wife.
oh, okay.
Uh, uh,
Grace.
yeah, Grace. Yeah, Grace was there. She was the one that let them in. Delta. I
Don't.
mean, and as soon as
Yeah,
that
there's
the big fight
seven.
happened,
Because there's
that
like two other people that get attacked, and I'm like, who are
yeah,
y'all?
I mean, people just started dropping. Like the main characters just started dropping like flies. I think the first
Yeah.
one of the first to get bit was Perline. Then
No, it was the first person to get bit was Annie.
oh yeah, because then
Because
yeah
that's
he had
when,
to take he had to take his own wife out because he
yeah.
that was that from dusk till dawn moment where she was like, if I get bit, you promise that you're gonna take me out, because that's the same conversation that was had in from dusk till dawn. If I get turned to a vampire, you got to promise that you will take me out. And what's his name who played Batman? George Clooney was like, I promise. I will not hesitate. But that, and then that moment happened, and but one by
Yeah, and
one,
even when Michael B. Jordan or Stacks broke out the first time, she throws garlic on him.
yeah, they
And
I was
yeah,
like, did she get some holy water? But no, it was yeah, it was garlic.
pickled garlic.
And but yeah, and before that fight broke out, then they had that moment where they wanted to test to make sure that everybody was still human and everybody was eating the garlic. What was that? And what was it? Sammy, not Sammy, Slim,
Yeah,
and
he's
he
like, oh.
ate it. He was like, he was like, and he coughed it. He was like, I just got this heartburn or something like that. He was like, I'm fine. I was like, dude, this dude almost got shot.
Even before that, I think when Cornbread gets shot and they're fighting because he tries to bite him, he's like, y'all smell that? I just shot myself.
I just shit myself. Yeah, man. Yeah, dude. Yeah, he had some of the best lines. He was the funniest dude there, man. That dude's always been a clown. As serious as he can be, as intense as he can be, he is funny as hell, man. Delroy Lindo, and his sacrifice. I mean, and I like the way that this movie, um, what's the word where you not project, where you and it's not predict. What's when you set something up and it comes true later on. I mean, later when the
Premonition.
vampire started coming out, he was like, Delta Slim was like, uh, the devil, like the preacher boy thought that the devil was cursing him because he turned away from the church. And he's like, no, like the devil gonna have to
Yeah,
gonna take me out. Delta was like, the devil gonna take me before I'll ever let him get you. And that's exactly
yeah,
what he did. He sacrificed himself. He knew he had to draw the vampires away when they got invited in. He cut his arm up, cut himself real. And did you notice how the scars looked on him when he sliced his arm and when he sliced himself real good? And then when the end scene when Michael B. Jordan got shot, you notice how it showed how wounds on black people will look when there's not a lot of blood blocking it.
yeah,
Like how it looks like that those open wounds and those real deep wounds when the blood's not squirting out and whatever, and when it's just the
yeah,
skin and the meat and all that. They made it look like it looks before all the good. I noticed that they showed that, but instead of just
yeah.
the
Blood
red.
gushing out.
They didn't just
Yeah,
show the blood. But and I'm sure and realistically, would have cut the way he cut himself to draw the vampire, that blood would have been gushing out. But I feel like
yeah,
Michael B. Jordan made a conscious choice because he showed blood all over the place before, but he wanted to show wounds. But I noticed that wounds were always different.
yeah,
He showed wounds the way they look on black men's skin, people's skin, and where it look without when the blood before the blood really start when we skin ourselves or scratch ourselves before the blood starts to slowly come out, how it look. He showed that before, and I think he purposely wanted to show that for wounds, but bites, blood was everywhere. I noticed that a lot. Bites, that was when the blood was squirting. But wounds, no, it was different for some reason. I don't know why I noticed that, but it was interesting. But long story short, when we finally get to the end, when Stack and Smoke had their fight, what do you
yeah.
think about that moment, man? When Stack went to go bite Smoke?
Yeah, he couldn't do it because he had the necklace around him. But I had a feeling it's like we didn't
The
see.
juju was still working. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was his wife's magic was still working.
yeah,
The preacher man's girlfriend, son's girlfriend, Pearline, she got bit.
yeah,
She got turned. Grace, they all got turned, right?
yeah.
And and they
Oh no,
and
Grace died. She died on fire,
she
killing her
died killing
husband.
her husband, right?
Yeah, and stabbing him in the heart.
And set herself on fire and whatnot.
Yeah,
Yeah, she straight up died.
yeah. She burned her Chris,
She
and
wanted to
then
get she was I think she it felt like she was trying to just guarantee she wanted to be with it was like she was desperate to be back with her husband. She
yeah,
and she did I feel like that death was like
as
two
well as
things.
get to her daughter.
She
So
wanted to guarantee her daughter would be safe because after killing them two, they would have had no need to go after her daughter for no
yeah,
reason for it. So it was she guaranteed that her daughter was safe, and then was eternally with her husband. She died with her husband.
yeah,
So that was a twofold kind of a death right there. So
yeah. But I was gonna say when Annie dies, when Smoke stabs her, you see Mary be like, "No," and then she runs off
yeah,
completely.
but
She just runs off.
because she realizes that. But she was smart. She was like, you realized that it was turning against them. Like, like, um, and when Smoke couldn't kill Stack in that scene, I didn't notice how fast it went. Where it just showed Smoke was just standing there like he was about to stab his brother. So Stack couldn't bite him because he was protected by the magic, but
Yeah,
Smoke was about to stab his brother, and then we cut away and we're back to the main vampire and Preacher Boy outside with the other vampires out in the
yeah,
water and whatnot.
yeah. There's an old
And
saying: if you don't see someone die on screen, then it's
but
it did happen.
in the moment, I assumed he just did it, and it shouldn't have tricked me because it was a blatant cut. It cut so hard from that you can't bite me. All right, but now I'm about to stab you. Cut. We are back outside, and I'm like, oh, because I'm assuming we're gonna go back to that fight
Yeah,
at any moment. I thought it was gonna go back and forth, but it never did. He's been and what's his name? Remick is beating the shit out of out of Preacher Boy outside
yeah,
and telling him how much like why
yeah.
he
Because he
wants
starts
him
reciting that prayer, "Hallowed
that
be Thy
prayer.
name." He's like,
Yeah,
"Yeah, a man had said that to me once when he burned down my family's farm and killed my family."
but I still find comfort in the words even after all
Yeah,
these
so
years,
for
right?
comfort in the words.
Yeah, Remick, technically a demon. It's like I
Yeah,
still find comfort in those words. And I remember when Annie was prepping everybody, she made a point in the
yeah,
conversation when she was talking about how to kill vampires. She made a
yeah,
point to mention killing the main vampire does not end anything. She
yeah,
and I was like, because I was gonna assume that was gonna be how you ended it. But when I was like, okay, you specifically said that for a reason, and I meant to keep that in the back of my head. And then when they did kill Remick in that moment, when you think he was gonna finally finish off the preacher's son, and then we see da 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 who comes to the rescue out of nowhere,
smoke.
from behind. And my friend was
Which
like,
I was,
"How the hell did he sneak up on them? How the hell
yeah,
did
I
he
was
sneak up
like,
past all those other vampires?"
yeah, and they're in the water too, so you would have heard a drop or a splash or
Something. Did they assume
like
he was
running.
stacked? Did they assume he was stacked? What the fuck? Like, how do you sneak past that whole group of vampires to sneak up on the main vampire and stab him in the back? Plot hole. But it looked good. It worked. It and but uh killing the main vampire did not didn't kill all the other vampires, but it was interesting though that when what's his name? Preacher Boy swung his guitar at him, and that
Yeah,
silver,
the metal part. Yeah,
it was made of silver, and that hurt them. And it, but and that was maybe because it was in the brain, maybe because the wound was in the head. I
yeah,
think
because
maybe that's why
they all share the
they
same
all felt the
brain.
pain because
Yeah,
it was a head wound.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I feel like because he was. 'Cause it's not like all the other vampires was feeling every little thing, but I guess it was because it was in the head. All the other vampires were temporary. Maybe that's how um, um, Michael B. Jordan Smoke was able to sneak up
Oh yeah, because he's having a
because
whole
they were
monologue thing because they're all standing back just waiting.
yeah they were just
So
standing
I'm
back
assuming,
and I'm
yeah,
assuming that when Preacher Boy swung the guitar at his head and they all felt the pain, that's probably what distracted them enough to get Smoke to sneak up on him and
yeah,
stab him in the back. But and then when the sun came up, that's when they all got. And
yeah,
and you just assumed everybody. And that's when we finally let it. I mean, everybody burnt up. Everybody. So Smoke and his cousin, uh, Preacher Boy was the last ones left, and he went home. Stacks promised. He said, "I'll let you drive after tomorrow. I'll let you drive." Right. That's exactly what he drove that. He drove that car back by
yeah,
himself. Back he went back home to his dad and to the church.
yeah. And he told him to bury the guitar. He's like, no, it's a famous guitar player. He's like, who told you that? Smoke? Oh, the lying motherfucker. That's
Yeah,
our
it's
dad's
our dad's
guitar.
guitar. Yeah, they were the whole time. Their reputation really came from the Smoking Stack's reputation really came from their dad, and that's why they had such a bad reputation because their whole family was considered bad.
Yeah,
I had a feeling that was their dad's guitar. They was talking about it was.
they
I
won
don't
it
know
on a
why in the
card
beginning
game.
I was like that must have been their dad's guitar, and for him to lie and say it was from a famous player or something like that. They won it off of said they won it in Chicago from a card game or some shit like that.
Yeah,
He's like, man, that was our dad's guitar, man. That's all. That's all that was. But what, stop that. I don't need all that noise. Uh, but when what was that? When he realized that Stack was lying and they finally went home. I was like, okay, that would have been okay part to end the movie and all that stuff. But no, there was that business to settle with the fact that the clan
yeah,
they still had to go and complete that mission because the vampires were going to do it. They were going to take that clan out. But since they were gone, and since they were and I think it was what Vampire Stack was the one who told Smoke like
yeah,
now that I'm connected to this Klansman over here. Oh yeah, he's telling the truth. They were yeah they this
yeah.
group
Come
went they
first thing in the morning and
it
take
was
it
yeah
over
first thing yeah
and
they were
burn it
gonna kill
down.
us. They were gonna take it out. They've done this before. They've done this to many black people. They trick them, get a bunch of money from them, pretend like they're selling something to them, and then kill them in the morning. And I'm like, and so he knew he was telling the truth, and they sure enough, and then they all showed up when I guess when his nephew never showed up. I guess they assumed the worst. They went
Oh
out
yeah,
to take him out anyway, and and oh boy, they said that they were military. So I guess they were. Did they fight in a war? Were they in World War One?
I was trying to.
I'm trying to figure out the year that this took
It
place.
said 19. It said 1932.
So
So that'd be
I'm
15
assuming that
or
military stuff that they got,
14
I guess
years.
I'm assuming they
Yeah,
were a part of World War One.
yeah,
So I'm
yeah,
assuming that maybe, but they had military grade ammunition
yeah, and a grenade.
he was able to take out the clan before the clan came after them. He had it all mapped out, and it
Yeah,
looked and it was a clean it was clean how he got them all out. Grenade, the big ass gun, just taking the Tommy
yeah.
gun.
From the trailer of him shooting, I thought it was gonna be like Blade, like there's daywalkers or day vampires and he's shooting at
Exactly.
them.
The
Yeah,
trailer showed us specific scenes making you think that those were like vampire fights. And you saw the
yeah,
sun so it made the trailer led me to think that they were that daywalkers existed in this movie.
yeah,
So I like the fact that it did that. It set me up for a bunch of misdirects and a lot of different payoffs. So um and that was another part. This movie had like three endings: the feeding of the vampires, the feeding of the clan, and then when we go into the future and Preacher Boy decides not to go back to the church, he does take on his life of music,
yeah.
and it's
And
like
it's 1992.
1992.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's 6 years later.
and he's had a full career and things like that. And he plays at this guitar, this concert, and then
Yeah.
we invited these two. We had to invite these two people in.
Yeah.
They wanted to talk to you, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
You got two super fans that want to meet him. So all right.
And it's Mary and Stack, Vampire Mary and Stack.
What did you think when you first saw them? Because people were busting
It
out laughing when they saw Michael B. Jordan's outfit.
I'm like, it's 1992, man. That was what we dressed like, man. I was 12 years old. I'm like, yeah, that was the haircuts. That was it. And he had the big ass gold stack on his fingers. And he was talking like, what do you think about the music today? He's like, I like the old stuff. And like, I wonder what Vampire Stack would think about Kendrick Lamar. But but or Tupac. Oh hell, Stack was only a few years away from meeting Tupac. So
Yeah, it
Stack
was
was
'92.
so rap was about to get real good for Stack. I bet in a couple of years, I bet like with this new guy Tupac. I like him though. I like him. But that whole conversation, it reminded me, and let's talk and to talk about like old other movies with black vampires. It reminded me of the Queen of the Damned because he said in that fight with his brother, he couldn't like Smoke couldn't
Yeah,
do it. Couldn't kill
yeah,
him.
yeah,
He didn't kill him. He was like, but I'm not gonna kill you. Can obviously you can't kill me because I'm protected, and I just won't kill you because you're my brother. But leave our cousin alone. Promise to let him live.
yeah,
Don't turn him into a vampire. And I was surprised he kept that he kept his word. And a friend of mine I work with, uh, he talked about how like with it was a love in a way it was a love story because that they still wound up together. Mary
yeah,
Stack. So I thought that was I thought that was cool that they wound up together anyway. And and the reason why I compared it to the Queen of the Dam was because wasn't there if you remember seeing that movie The Queen of the Dam with the Leah,
yeah,
wasn't there a set of vampires that had living descendants, like human descendants? They said that like you're a part of my like I'm your great great something, right? And
yeah,
I've decided not to like my to keep a part of my humanity, my living human relatives. I've been protecting them. I'm gonna protect them for all as long as I'm alive. I'm gonna keep them alive and try to
yeah.
and I was like that reminded me of Queen. So that reminded me of that. Like the juke joint fight reminded me of Dawn from Dust to Dawn. Um, any movies like that stand out? But we talked. You said we talked about Blade. But what vampire, black vampires do you remember?
Interview with not interview with a vampire, vampire in Brooklyn with Eddie
Vampire.
Murphy.
I thought yes. I thought of that. I thought of that too.
Because even at the end or the end credit scene, John Witherspoon turns into a vampire.
yeah,
He's the one driving the cab.
yeah, exactly. And there's a new vampire book. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah,
So I felt like Coogler did a good job paying homage to vampire lore, to politics, race relations, especially in the South and what was going on. The respect of the music
and
in the South,
spirituality.
the blues, um, the
The,
way he used music, man, and the horror element, and it didn't let up on the horror. I mean, it
yeah,
had everything that you
the
wanted in
jump
a vampire
scares as
movie.
well. Even the jump scare with the cobra in the back of the truck. That initially got me.
Oh,
Whenever they're
really?
moving stuff out of the truck, and you just see the
The
snake.
rattlesnake, yeah.
Yeah,
And the
oh,
brothers was so calm, just passed the knife to his brother. And he already knew what he was gonna do. And the way he let the snake just bleed out like that. I
yeah,
mean, it was a lot of smooth, even scariest scenes had some slick, cool elements to it. So it was a lot of cool, slick things to it. The music, the way the music elevated the horror, the way it paid homage to old school vampire rules
yeah,
lore. I loved it. Like the let the right one in.
yeah.
The whole invitation thing was
Interview with the
respected.
vampire.
Interview with Vampire, it was respected. The
I'm
fact that
very
they weren't.
curious. I
Yeah.
was gonna say I'm very curious to see like how he lived out those 60 years though. Like, did he write a
I
book?
asked my coworker, I was like, do you think could you see a sequel? The way it ended, now that we know that, okay, from where it began to where it ended, to the end credit scene, you saw that there is a mid to end credit scene where
Yeah,
the big reveal that Stack and Mary, the Romeo and Juliet of the group, they have their sort of happy ending. But my friend was like, he was like, well, because I was like, it's funny how she was acting like, he was the leader of that of their little duo. It's like she was. I said, I was like, no, but Mary she's older as a vampire. She's older than him. She would
Yeah,
technically be the lead vampire. It would, and that's why it reminded me of Aaliyah. Because in that, I think she was more powerful than her husband, and she was just looking for a new husband. So technically, Hailee Steinfeld would be the leader of that group. She would be technically more powerful than Stack,
yeah.
technically. And then my friend was like, "Yeah, about 30 minutes," but like she's older, but still technically, but it still looked like she kind of, or at least gave the illusion that she was playing the role of I'm just his woman.
Yeah, because the
I feel
only
like she
the
just
only line she had in that post credit scene is "Hey, little Sammy," and that's it.
Yeah, and that was it. The conversation was just between Stack and Sammy, and
Yeah,
that great discussion about. He's like, even after all that horror that happened, he was like, honestly, that was still might have been one of the as far as the music. I think he said because of the music, that was the best one
yeah,
of the best that nights of his life.
yeah. He said,
I don't give a damn about that music. I went through all that. I would never call that the best night of my life.
and Stack's like, "That's the last time I got to see the sunrise with my brother," and
Yeah,
then it shows the little
I think.
things. But I'm part of
Didn't
me's a
Sammy say that was
little
the last time I went down on a woman? Nah.
no, but even then too, like they introduce another element because he sniffs him. He's like, "Oh, you don't have much time left to
Time
live,
left.
anyways."
Yeah.
Yeah, which I'm like, "Oh, that's
Oh,
interesting."
they can smell the death coming to him.
Yeah, even that's
Not,
like a new element they could introduce in a
yeah.
potential sequel. Or
It was like
I
I
am
could.
curious though as to like what's gonna happen after this. Like,
I wouldn't mind seeing. I wouldn't mind seeing a sequel with Stack and Mary, where it could show what they went through as an interracial couple
yeah,
surviving in America from the 30s to the 90s.
yep, going through the '60s. What
Shit.
happens there?
But I wouldn't mind seeing it. It's like it was, but he was like it was called Sinners though. It was about that certain. I mean, there's more sin to be had all over the world. They could go to Vegas, they can go to Louisiana, they can go to California,
Yeah,
they can go. There's more sin to be got all over the world, man. They don't have to stay in the South. They could go up north. But I thought overall, if there was a rating, how would you rank this movie? Where would you what rating would you
yeah.
give?
I've already said 10 out of 10.
You giving it a perfect 10 out of 10.
Yeah,
I'm close. I can't. It's hard for me to give anything a 10 out of 10. As I don't see perfection in anything. Because of the fact that I said the word though, I feel like there was a plot hole here and there. I'll give it
yeah,
a
that's true.
9.5. I'll
What
give
do
it a
you think of?
9.5. But the misdirects were great. The scares, the surprises were surprising. It was some good stuff, man. I think this is one of Coogler's best. It was his first shot at horror too, right?
Yeah,
Knocked it out. Do you see more from him in horror, or do you think he'll just keep moving on to different genres?
I've said yeah because I see like I've said to him, Ari Aster, Jordan Peele, Mike Flanagan, and then even the dude who directed Magazine Dreams. I feel like they're going to be pretty much introducing like new horror ideas,
Yeah. That's
and
why I
as well
love
as
my Us shirt. That was
yeah, even like Ryan Coogler, his first film is Fruitel Station with Michael B. Jordan.
yeah, Fruitville Station.
Yeah, and that's like a commentary about police brutality,
Yeah.
dealing with a black person. I was gonna say Magazine Dreams, that director, Magazine Dreams was his first film, and that deals with black masculinity,
Yeah.
and I could see him doing horror as well. So I was like, yeah, I could see him maybe in. I think they said that he's gonna even want to do his own universe, anyways. He's gonna want to finish Black Panther 3, and then he's just gonna go do his own like little horror stuff.
Oh, okay.
So
Hey, more power to him, man. I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, I'm like at a 9.5. It's like that's like the highest I can give it without being perfect. But man, I recommend it, man. I'm gonna try to convince my wife. She doesn't really do horror, but I think she would like this movie. Um,
yeah,
we were supposed to see it together, but we couldn't. So I went and I took a friend of mine, and Man, we had a blast, man. It was
Yeah,
great. The racial tones, it had a little bit of everything in it.
yeah. I
And
said I felt like it could have been about another 20 minutes longer,
you
just
wanted
with
it to
like
be longer. I went the other
just
way.
a
I
little bit.
I felt like they should have shortened it. I felt like because it was like almost a perfect 2 hours, right?
2 hours and 15 minutes.
Yeah, like yeah. So strap in, like strap up, guys. Like you are going to, if and
Again,
especially for the people who felt like it started kind of slow. Those
yeah,
first 30 minutes may, but I enjoyed it because I enjoyed the funny relationships between the characters. So
yeah.
because
Again, like I've heard another person say, but yeah, that's just that Native American vampire hunters. I feel they should have just used them more.
yeah,
Even after like the clan battle, I feel like they should have just came up and been like, even with like a dying smoke on the ground, I feel like they should have had a conversation or something.
yeah.
Like, hey, yeah, we took care of them, or I've
I,
had a
I
hell of a
I
night.
love the way Coogler shows respect to. You always think that he's gonna make a movie, it's only gonna be focused on the black people and whatnot. But like in
Yeah,
Wakanda Forever, no, he showed respect to other groups and other heritages, and he did the
yeah,
same thing here again. He had to show the Native Americans. He was very inclusive with
yeah, Native
when
American.
saying that
Right.
this is a vampires have been dealt with all over the world. Obviously, there were white people there, and they weren't all Klansmen. There were
Yeah,
good people there and all that. They were so
yeah.
I'm
He even pays homage to Asian culture, Native
Asian
American, even
culture, Native American
Irish,
culture.
even
Yeah,
doing like the
and
whole
you
Irish
know, I mean,
musical sequence.
the way that shocked me, how he showed love to the Irish culture. And I was in it, man. I was like, man, he got me. And you saw Michael B. Jordan the way he was in it, but he was still kind of like bobbing like a black man, like yeah,
Yeah,
he was like Irish crunk. I don't know what to call it, but it was
Hey,
cool. So
yeah. When
I want
I
that
was gonna
soundtrack
say,
now.
oh, I've been listening to it on Spotify.
Oh, cool, cool, cool. What
Yeah,
were you gonna say?
even when Smoke and I think Delroy or Sammy threw the dude out, he's like, shh, you hear that? Hey, what's that up there? And then you just see everybody like, going crazy, and they're just sitting there like, we need to get back inside.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. The comedy, all the jokes hit. All the jokes hit. Every time there was a joke to be had, I didn't feel like not one of them didn't land. So it was a great movie, man. I
Yeah,
recommend go see it. You got you got Michael B. Jordan once again. You got Hailee Steinfeld. You got Jun Li, Omar Benson Miller. You got I didn't say this before, but I'll say it now. Wunmi Mosaku, if I'm saying that right. Jamie Lawson, Delroy Lindo. You got Lola Kirky, Miles Carden, and Remick, who was played by Jack O'Connell.
yeah. And Miles
And
Carton, I didn't know he had made music prior to this, but yeah, it
I
was his
would I
first
would
time
swear that
acting.
he had a dance background because when he was doing the Irish thing and then he was right in front of the camera and he did the kick, the really high kick. I was like, this dude has a dance background.
Oh, that's
Like
Jack O'Connell.
yeah. Like
Yeah.
I he's a singer, right?
Oh, Miles Carton is the one who played Sammy, Preacher
Mhm.
Boy. So that's his first time acting.
Yeah.
But I was like, I thought like it was his first time making music and all that for the movie. But no, he's already trained. He's an R&B
Yeah.
singer. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I'm excited to see what he does in the
Kugler
future.
knows how to cast. I'll give him that. He knows how to
Yeah,
cast people. But yeah, directed by Michael Kugler. It comes out today. It's April 18th. I'll try to make sure this comes out this spoiler comes out tonight. A $90 million budget. It was already projected to come in
yep,
and around like what 50 to 60 million, if I'm not
yeah,
mistaken. It's gonna crush.
and it's gonna
Consider
get positive word of mouth too. It's
it's
spreading out
getting
online.
yeah.
Both
I haven't
theaters
heard
I
too
went
many bad
to,
things. I haven't heard too many bad things at
yeah,
all from
both
anybody.
theaters I went to were packed out. So
Let me check this real quick. Let me check AMC before I let you go.
yeah, I was
Come
gonna say
on.
your early screening on Monday was like, was it already packed out and sold out, or
Oh yeah, well when they do screenings, they when they give passes away, they always give away more passes than there are seats. They purposely try to fill a theater. It's rare that a screening won't be packed. If a screening's not packed, that's a bad omen for the movie, for the excitement for the movie. But let me just click on a screening for today. Uh, let's see, let's see. We got 10:30 showing for tonight. Almost packed. Even the last showing tonight, 10:30. This thing, I don't know if you can. I don't know if I can see it. If you can see it
Oh yeah, I
highlighted.
can see. Yeah.
If it's highlighted, but yeah, these seats are almost all gone. Only like
Okay.
the front rows are left. Let's see. Here's a digital 9:30 showing. Halfway packed. Not There's another theater. Let me see. More than half. Like so, yeah. So for the most part, all these screenings, and this already like 9:30 right now when we're recording this at
Yeah, it's
night. These are the
9:35.
last couple of screens. So I'm sure the 7 o'clocks and the 5 o'clocks and the 8 o'clocks. I'm sure those are packed. If the 10 o'clock and the 10:30s are still halfway or almost full, that means most of these it was some packed houses.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say
yeah,
one more thing. What did you
go
think of
for it.
the religious? What did you think of the religious aspect? Because the father, he's like, "Boy, keep messing with the devil, and he's gonna come collect." And there's also this whole notion of like sin on Saturday night and then ask for forgiveness Sunday
Sunday
morning.
morning.
Then
Oh, that went over my head.
the
That is
events that
true.
happen on a Saturday night, and then he goes back to church Sunday morning.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Yeah, we get because you have to pray away all that stuff you did like that. Yeah, that I
yeah,
forgot about that aspect of it. And I didn't think about that until you just said that. That was a perfect metaphor. They showed they did an interview. I was watching an interview with Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler and yesterday. I can't remember what they said now though, but like on the spot. But they really when they work together, man, they put it all on the line, man. They really don't.
oh,
It hasn't
we
really
we
been it hasn't been a miss in my opinion yet, really.
we forgot to touch on something.
What's that?
Whenever he's dying, he sees his wife and child,
Yeah, in the yeah,
which is yep,
his life. Yeah, they're because in the beginning of the movie he said we'll be waiting like we'll be together or something like that with again
yeah,
after and when like I said, this movie did a lot of
so
callbacks
much
to
symbolism,
like
so much
symbolism
red
and
herring.
like they set something up and it came to light, came to fruition in the end. Each and every time there was a bunch of little bitty hints, and I probably have to watch that two or three more times. There's a bunch of little hints from throughout the beginning of the movie that predicted what was going to happen in the end. If you weren't really paying attention to it,
Yeah,
it was easy to miss because it was a lot of very subtle things here and there.
and I've said too, it's similar to Black Panther whenever they're entering the little astro plane and they're talking to their ancestor.
Yes, yeah, yeah, something like that. Yeah, paying respect. The fact that Mary and Stack like he was like he knew he admitted that he loved her, but he couldn't in this like in this the way things were with everything that was going on in their lives, he couldn't be with her at all.
Yeah,
But in death, he could. It was funny. It was interesting how while his brother was still alive and with him, and with everything going on, he was like, even though he wanted to be with Mary, he couldn't do it. But now that he's a vampire, his
yeah,
brother's no longer with him. He was like, for some reason, everything else, nothing else mattered now. Like so, it was like they're meant to be in the way she was really really persistent on that. I was like, it was kind of weird how that was kind of like a love story kind of happening thing. You got like, and then
yeah.
it was a lot of things happening at the same time in this movie. So it was great. I enjoyed it. All right, guys. Well, go check it out. We recommend it.
Definitely check it out.
I say check it out. I'm gonna go definitely
Oh,
see it again.
what format would you recommend? I watched it in Dolby.
I watched it in
I
Dolby.
haven't
I
I
watched it
haven't
on the
watched it in
no, I
IMAX.
watched it on the IMAX. I watched it on the IMAX screen. That was
I need to try it in IMAX because
yeah.
I've seen like the different aspect ratios. But
Uh,
for Dolby, the music did intensify it. It made the music experience much better.
I think if I can convince my wife to go with me, I'll try to do it in Adobe Screen. That's a good recommendation for the music element, for the sound
Yeah.
effects. I
Yep.
recommend Adobe will probably be an outstanding experience. Experience it in Dolby Digital, most definitely. Go support it. Check it out. Leave your thoughts. What did you think about Sinners? Tell us all about it. What's the little things that you caught that we might have missed in this recap and this spoiler review of it? Are you one of those guys that don't care about spoilers? You will hear all the spoilers and still go see it. Go tell us what you think about it. Ricky, if people want to find you out there, what can they go check your content out?
You can find me on Twitter at Ricky underscore Buzzy, RICKY underscore BUZZY, and on YouTube at Ricky underscore Buzz, where I do post reactions and shorts to movies.
Outstanding. All right, man. We're gonna call it, and you guys come check us out on our live show. I think we're gonna do a show tomorrow on Saturday. So check us out for talking through the medias. And like I said, send your questions, thoughts, concerns, anything you want us to cover or talk about, react to. Send it right here. I'm Chris Fagan. Until next time, guys. Peace. All right.